KWT slaying.
Salama family, salama. How y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. We're going to talk about some controversial stuff today. I'm sure I'll be called racist. Used to that already. Now, I have to say this. When we look at those birth pains, they are so close together. I'm looking for the baby. I'm looking for the birth of the nation. That's how close things are. See, here's the thing, and I told you this is a truth ministry, so I speak it like I see it. We can't hang around them no more. I'm not saying every single one of them, you know that. I usually end up having to qualify myself. But we're at that point in time, in my opinion. Now, Micah 5:8, the remnant of Jacob will be among the nations in the midst of many peoples, like a lion among the beasts of the forest, like a young lion among flocks of sheep, which mauls and mangles as it goes, and no one can rescue. I think we're probably about here. Before, they used to have, the veneer of righteousness. They had to put on being a Christian. I know some of y'all think I'm hard on Christians, but I'm not hard on the individual person per se. I'm really hard on the religion. The religion is nothing but a tool of white supremacy, especially in the Western nation. So the Bible speaks of a time where Jacob, that's you, Israel, I know, you know that, going to be amongst the nations in the midst of many people kicking some butt. Now, later on, I'm going to put the link out later on, not right now. But once I put the link out, y'all going to have to be nice. You have to monitor what you have to say. Because what I'm going to share today might make some of you angry. But just giving you a heads up, and I'll give you another heads up when I put the link out. So I'm going to share this again because we're going to share it 100 times. 2nd Ezra 15. Behold, says Yahuwah, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun. Can we say them Chinese? From the south, from the east, and Lebanus, to turn themselves one against another, to repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen. So they're doing something to God's people. So will I do also and recompense in their bosom, said Yahuwah. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. I'm going to stop right there. See, Christianity has the idea that God overlooks who they call God. Yahuwah overlooks all of their sins because they claim to be Christian. But y'all remember what Popeye said. Popeye said, that's all I can stand. I can't stand no more. I think we're about at that place. That's why I believe Micah 5:8 is on the horizon. And you're going to see why. See, you're not going to get this in your churches. They always select the nice, smoothing sound scriptures and the blessings. None of the judgments and none of the curses. None of the recompense. But this is a balanced ministry. So I'm going to play some stuff. In Israel, I know some of y'all going to get upset. But control that, because the Most High is in control, and I'm just speaking for myself. I don't know how long we got here, personally. That's just my opinion.
Welcome to America. You know what? Say go to the screen. Let me roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. I absolutely want to read your comment. Let me know what you all think. And straight up, let me roll the clip.
The police say someone inside a Northland home shot a teen in error after the boy drove to the wrong address to pick up younger siblings. Good evening. I'm Shannon Russo.
I'm Kevin Barry. That teen was supposed to go to a home on Northwest 115th Terrace. Instead, he went to a home 1 block over on Northeast 115th Street.
Lake County Prosecutor's Office says that they have not received any criminal referral, but this is still a very active investigation, with police telling us that this teen is in the hospital with injuries that are considered to be life-threatening. At the home where neighbors say it happened, a man vacuums the front steps after replacing a glass door. Fox 4 asked what happened.
I guess you'll have to check with other authorities.
Well, do you know this? Quote, suspect was brought to headquarters to give a statement. Older visitors also did not answer questions. Do you know any details about it?
Yeah, but I'm not at liberty to give that out, man. You know that.
Why not? Well, you're a friend.
Yeah, he's my buddy, man, and I love him to death.
Is he an older guy? It's not this guy, right?
No, come on, man. We all take care of one another, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Y'all, there was nothing that was an error about that shooting. My nephew rang the doorbell. He opened up the door. He shot him in the head and said, "Don't come back here again." When he fell down, he shot him again. That is not an error.
Like I said from the onstart, it is not an error. There is nothing anyone will tell me that will convince me that it is an error. Somebody rang your bell, and all you could do is boom, and came out again, boom. And somebody's telling me it's an error. How is that an error? They are the one actually. You know what? Let's get into the.
Last night, my nephew was on his way to pick up his brothers from their friend's house, a few blocks away from his house.
Can't really hear her too well.
Phone, so he wasn't using GPS.
So I'm going to stop it right here. So, you know, the good news is that the young man who was shot, he's back home, which is good. Praise the Most High. But I could tell you, for me, I'm PISSED. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. Look, I'm not promoting violence of no means. But you got to understand that there's an agenda. There's an agenda going on, and that agenda is to kill Negroes. There's an agenda going on, obviously. Somebody trying to delete Israelites.
Charges. No bill from the grand jury after police decided to shoot to death Mr. Jalen Walker. Over 60 shots. Let me take you to the video, and I'm going to bring you the update to this horrific story. Damn shame. That's reckless. Let's put up the picture of this young man. Despite being shot to death 60 times and having his body desecrated by the Akron police, grand jury decided to file no criminal charges against the 8 cops involved in Jalen Walker's death. Let me give you a background on the jury. A special grand jury of 6 women, 3 men, including 2 black citizens, on Monday returned to no bill in Summit County Common Pleas Court, which means the jurors found the actions of the officers to be justified. Let's put up the Attorney General, Dave Yost. So Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost said Walker fired out of his vehicle while he was being chased by officers. He said a shell casing was recovered from the entrance ramp to State Route 8, and the ballistics matched the gun recovered in Walker's car after the shooting. The officer also witnessed Walker firing a shot, and it was recorded on his dash cam video, according to Yost. He says the law allows officers to use deadly force to defend themselves or others against a deadly threat, Yost said. However, Yost said, the legal justification doesn't change the tragedy of 25-year-old Walker's death. I grieve the loss of this promising young life, though I recognize no words of mine will offer comfort to the family. If you remember,
So 60 shots at a young black guy running away. Now, they say he had a gun and fired a shot. Well, you know they drop pieces on people all the time. They say they got something on the video. I want to see the video of him doing it. I don't believe it. But like I said, there's an agenda. And if we keep sticking our head in the sand, we're going to end up like that young man. Look, I don't believe in this false humility, this false love and mercy stuff when you don't repent and all you do is kill, steal, and destroy. You know, I like that video. I forgot what the name of the movie was or show. Well, he says, you people are a virus. Everything you touch, you destroy. You stab us in the back and put the knife in our hand and tell us it's our fault. But it ain't your fault. Because it's the only way you know how to be. I'm personally sick of it. If you ain't sick of it, something wrong with you. You keep turning that cheek and they're going to keep hitting you in it. Y'all need to get your scripture balanced. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. That's Bible. But we are in prophetic times because our curse is over. We are about to leave, and they are going to be judged for every drop of blood they have spilled. Oh, you think I'm joking? You think I'm misappropriating the scriptures? I know. But there's something wrong with these people. Now remember, I'm not saying every single one, because there's some good ones, very few. But I'm not going to take away there's some good ones who try to help, but very few.
What is y'all doing? Hey, you're like a baby to me. Why you?
There's cussing here.
I
Just
don't
let
know
you know.
what you doing. I just see you snatching him up off the. So what? So what's going on then?
You're stealing stuff. If you break into your house to steal something,
Nah, man. What you selling, a bag of chips? So y'all treat me like a whole cold-blooded fucking killer?
Keep walking, dude. You don't even know what you're
Keep
talking
walking. I know what I just came up and see. I know the fuck I just came up and see.
Okay, what did you see?
I see y'all snatching him up the back like you're a fucking grown-ass man. Ain't he saying it wasn't him? Fuck is y'all doing?
Crazy. How old is he? 10 years
Fuck is y'all talking about, man?
That's against the law.
Fuck is y'all doing?
You cannot put that.
What is y'all doing? Take the fucking chips. If you stole some chips, I'll pay for them. I'll pay for them. You don't even know where he lives. Y'all just throwing him in the fucking car.
That's what they do. They come here.
Fuck is y'all doing? Leave him alone.
On camera. That's all we can do.
He a kid. What is y'all doing?
Now you see how they treat our people? A little kid. What the heck? I don't care if he robbed and stole your whole house. A little kid like that doesn't need to be treated like an adult. But you know they lying, right? You know they lying. They always lie. And we're supposed to always forgive them, but they never ask for forgiveness. America, cut. And Sister Shonda would say, cut. Obviously, something's wrong here. These people have taken over. The KKK has taken over. But there's an agenda. And if you don't see it, I feel sorry for you. And ain't nothing worse than the boule as a Deacon Sakari say, black Christians, BLACC. Ain't nothing worse than those. When's enough? I'm sick of it personally. I'm going to call it out. I'm going to call a spade a spade. There's an agenda to delete the Israelites. There's an agenda to delete the Israelites. See, what did I tell y'all? I told y'all what? They're going to push us out. Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you they're going to push us out?
OP officials caught talking racist, but their own truth indeed. Here it is.
They're insignificant in my life.
Yes.
They bring
The old saying is, you know,
What goes around goes around.
it will. I told you it will. Yeah. I know where two big deep holes are here.
I got an excavator.
These are already pre-dug. But the thing of it is, you know,
We actually told the truth.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that were very quiet guys.
Yeah.
And would cut no mercy.
Yeah.
In Louisiana. Because it was all mafia around Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the reality. If a hair on his wife's head, Chris Willingham's head, or any of those people that really were behind all that, if the hair on their head got touched by anybody, who would be the bad guys?
Who'd
Yeah.
you blame for?
Yeah.
I heard the other day said, I heard 10 or 12 people going to the sheriff. I said, let's get 20. They don't have a goddamn clue what they're getting into.
Oh, yeah,
Not
because
this day and age.
but everybody.
I'm gonna tell you something. If it was back in the day, would Alan Marshall take a damn blackjack, whoop their ass, and throw them in the cell? I'd run for sheriff.
Yeah. Well, it's not like that no more.
I know. Take them down here on Mud Creek and hang them up with the damn rope.
Yeah.
But you can't do
And the
that.
thing about it is,
They got more rights than we got.
That's how you feel, homie? Okay. Let's do it. Put them all up. You heard officials talk about killing people, terrorizing black folk, how many hitmen they actually know, and what they would prefer to do to black people overall. The officials come from Oklahoma, right? They were involved in the recording. You have Sheriff Kevin Clardy. You have District 2 Commissioner Mark Jennings. You have a sheriff's investigator, Alicia Manning, and jail administrator, Larry Hendricks, not pictured. District 3 Commissioner Robert Beck, not pictured. Also is cited in the audio. The conversation occurred following a Board of Commissioners meeting on March 6th. Let me stop right here. What you just witnessed, what you just heard, is what we call systemic racism. It is systemic racism. It is embedded into the cultural normality of their operational dynamic. They are expressing their bias, yes, in a private conversation, but they have public responsibilities.
So you saw the conversation. They want to hire hitmen to take you out. Now, if they're talking like that in private, you know what they're doing in private. And a lot of these people are your quote unquote representatives, sheriffs, and so forth. So you got an issue with one black person, but you threaten the entire black community. You're talking about, you know about an assassin that you can hire. To do what? Take out all of the black folks? But y'all already doing that. They're called the popo. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, mama ain't raised no fools. See, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, just the way I see it. And the scripture says, I will put enmity between thy seed and her seed. This is a spiritual hate. This is not normal. But we cannot get laws passed to protect us. But you look sideways at the Asians and they get a pass. They get legislation. No hate on the Asians. I'm like, okay, but I think we need legislation first. But don't worry, because our God is coming to judge them. He said, vengeance is his, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Ain't nobody else but the Negro, not the people in the Middle East. You're living in perilous times. You're living in the time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob is in trouble. But we get called racist for calling out their racism. We get called racist for calling out their murders behind the badge. We get called all kind of names because we say don't shoot us no more, or that those people are evil. Now I'm gonna show you something else. Now I do get news from this site, right? I get news from this right things dealing with the New World Order and the war in Ukraine and all these things, right? I do this, but guess what? He's a straight up racist, simple and plain. He's a racist. This ain't the first time I've seen stuff like this, but he's a racist straight up. All right. So he said, there's no fixing this. It has to be destroyed. Well, what has to be destroyed? Let's look at it. Over the weekend, a white woman got culturally enriched by a group of black marauders while she was walking to her home at 129 North Wabash in Chicago. Her offense, she's white. Full stop. Now, do we know the full context of that? I don't know. Have a quick 30-second look at the reality of race relations here in America. Here it is in all its glory. Yes, but y'all planning hitmen on us. And y'all upset because some of these people hitting back. I ain't saying it right. I'm just saying, you know, don't be shocked. You get what you sow. I would like to know the context of this. Israel don't just hit people for nothing. There's no fixing this. There's no fixing this. Notice, there's no fixing this. We can't work it out. Understand? That's what he's saying. There's no fixing this. It cannot be fixed at all, ever. It can only be ended. What is he saying right there? There's no fixing race relations in America. You can't fix it. It can only be ended. See what we're dealing with? But I'd like to know the context of that video because there's no context. Just a bunch of black folks beating up on a white woman. Young kids. But it does bring to mind Micah 5:8. The remnant of Jacob will be among the nations in the midst of many people like a lion among the beasts of the forest, like a young lion among flocks of sheep, which mauls and mangles as it goes, and no one can rescue. I believe we're at those times. I told you, you're going to be pushed out. I know y'all don't want to hear it. You going to be pushed out. Even Pastor Darby said, you're going to be pushed out. From legislative chambers to schools, democracy for Black Americans is under attack. Report finds. Extreme views adopted by some local, state, and federal political leaders who try to limit what history can be taught in schools and seek to undermine how Black officials perform their jobs are among the top threats to democracy for Black Americans, the National Urban League says. Mark Morial, the former New Orleans mayor who leads the Civil Rights and Urban Advocacy Organization, cited the most recent example. The vote this month by the Republican-controlled Tennessee House to oust 2 Black representatives for violating a legislative rule. I didn't even hear about that one. The pair had participated in a gun control protest inside the chamber after the shooting that killed 3 students and 3 staff members at a Nashville school. But I wonder who the shooter was. We have censorship and Black history suppression, and now this, Moriel said in an interview. It's another piece of fruit of the same poisonous tree. The effort to suppress lawmakers were quickly reinstated by leaders in their districts and were back at work in the House after an uproar that spread well beyond the state. The Urban League's annual State of Black America report released Saturday draws on data and surveys from a number of organizations, including the UCLA Law School, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and Anti-Defamation League. The collective findings reveal an increase in recent years in hate crimes and efforts to change classroom curriculums, attempts to make voting more difficult, and extremist views being normalized in politics, the military, and law enforcement. You're going to be pushed out, I told you. One of the most prominent areas examined is so-called critical race theory. Scholars developed it as an academic framework during the 70s and 80s in response to what they viewed as a lack of racial progress following the civil rights legislation of the 60s. The theory centers on the idea that racism is systemic in the nation's institutions and that they function to maintain the dominance of white people in society. Director Taifa, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, Alexander said the Forward Tracking Project, part of UCLA Law School, began in response to the backlash that followed the protests of the George Floyd killings in 2020 and an executive order that year from then President Donald Trump restricting diversity training. Don't show me my history. The project's website shows that 209 local, state, and federal government entities have introduced more than 670 bills, resolutions, executive orders, opinion letters, statements, and other measures against critical race theory since 2020, September 2020. Anti-critical race theory is a living organism in and of itself. It's always evolving. There are always new targets of attack, Alexander said. She said the expanded scope of some of those laws, which are having a chilling effect on teaching certain aspects of the country's racial conflicts, lead to major gaps in understanding history and social justice. In other words, hide my evil history. This anti-CRT campaign is going to frustrate our ability to reach our full potential as a multiracial democracy. That's the problem right there. Separate. Because future leaders will be missing information they could use to tackle problems, Alexander said. She said one example is the rewriting of Florida elementary school material about civil rights figure Rosa Parks and her refusal to give up her seat to a white rider on a Montgomery, Alabama bus in 1955, an incident that sparked the bus boycott there. Mention of race was omitted entirely in one revision, a change first reported by the New York Times. Florida has been the epicenter of many of the steps included opposing AP African American Studies, but it's not alone. The things that have been happening in Florida have been replicated, or governors in similarly situated states have claimed they will do the same thing. Alexander said, you will be pushed out. In Alabama, a proposal to ban divisive concepts passed out of legislative committee this past week. Last year, the administration of Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, a Republican, rescinded a series of policies, memos, and other resources related to diversity, equity, and inclusion that it characterized as discriminatory and divisive concepts in the state's public education system. Oklahoma public school teachers are prohibited from teaching certain concepts of race and racism under a bill Republican Governor Kevin Stitt signed into law in 2021. On Thursday, the Llano County Commissioner's Court in Texas held a special meeting to consider shutting down the entire public library system rather than follow a federal judge's order to return a slate of books to the shelves on topics ranging from teenage sexuality and bigotry. After listening to public comments in favor and against the shutdown, the commissioners decided to remove the item from the agenda. Now, you wonder why they're trying to shut down TikTok. Anything having to do with our history and what they've done to us, they're trying to suppress. We will suppress your books. We will suppress the conversation about race and racism, and we will suppress your history. Your AP course, Moriel, said it is singular in its efforts to suppress blacks. Yes, it is. Other issues in his group's report address extremism in the military and law enforcement, energy and climate change, and how current attitudes can affect public policy. Predominantly white legislatures in Missouri and Mississippi have proposals that would shift certain government authority from some majority black cities to the states. In many ways, the report mirrors concerns evident in recent years in a country deeply divided over everything from how much K-12 students should be taught about racism and sexuality to the legitimacy of the 2020 election. Now, I don't believe sexuality should be taught in schools at all, but definitely their history of racism should be. 40% of voters in last year's election said their local K-12 public schools were not teaching enough about racism in the U.S., while 34% said it already was too much, according to AP VoteCast, an expansive survey of the American electorate. 23% said the current curriculum was about right. About 2/3 of black voters said more should be taught on the subject, compared with about half of Latino voters and about 1/3 of white voters. So you can understand with TikTok, their kids are still being educated. So they got to shut down TikTok. Next thing you know, they'll be passing some more, restrictive, laws concerning these things, to affect all social media platforms. Violence is one of the major areas of concern covered in the Urban League report, especially in light of 2022 mass shooting at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York. The accused shooter left a manifesto raising the great replacement theory as a motive in the killing. In other words, too many black folks. Data released this year by the FBI indicated that hate crimes rose between 2020 and 2021. African Americans were disproportionately represented, accounting for 30% of the incidents in which the bias was known. It's more than that. It's more than that. By comparison, the second largest racial group targeted in a single incident category was white victims, who made up 10%. Yeah, right. Rachel Carroll Rivas, Deputy Director of Research with the Southern Poverty Law Center's Intelligence Project, said, when all the activities are tabulated, including hate crimes, rhetoric, incidents of discrimination, and online disinformation, we see a very clear and concerning threat to America and a disproportionate impact, on Black Americans. There's an agenda. They're going to push you out. Whether they got to hire hitmen, pass laws, it's a bit obvious. I'm just reading the news. You interpret what you want. I'm not saying every single one of them bad. You got some who stand with us, like this young woman I'm about to show right now. But she admits what's going on.
Fiery speech, very fiery speech coming from a young person, right? You can very plainly and clearly see that she is a youth. She's a white female youth, and she is speaking up about her own people who like to deny that there is definitely something going on between them and us, right? But anyway, I want to share this video clip with you. And of course, I will be right back. Take a listen.
I know I don't understand your experience.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have never had to live it.
Come on now.
I can sympathize, and I can recognize when things are wrong. For instance, if a black man or woman should never be afraid for their life for getting pulled over for speeding.
Come on now.
But I have never lived in that fear.
Come on now. Come on.
No black man or woman should ever be reluctant to walk outside for fear of racial profiling.
Tell it.
But I have never been racially profiled.
That's right.
No black man or woman should ever expect to go to jail in their lifetime because of the color of their skin. But I have never lived in that expectancy. And this is why I don't believe in the phrase, I don't see color.
That's right.
One, to say you don't see color is a lie. We're different. We can all see that. But two, and way more importantly, to deny the differences in our skin is to deny the differences in our privilege. I'm going to say that again because I think it's worth repeating. To deny the differences in our skin is to deny the differences in our privilege. And that leads me to my next point. To deny the differences in our color is to promote ignorance. Ignorance is the reason that systemic racism and oppression is allowed to exist in this country. So why am I here? Why am I up here speaking? I'm going to talk on about three things. One of those is change, the other is ignorance, and one is discomfort. I'll get there. Broadly speaking, why am I here? Because I want change. But let me speak on that for a second. Because I think a lot of people want change. I think a lot of people say they want change, but let me clarify. I think a lot of white people think they want change. But here's the thing about that. In order for there to be a true and genuine change, for you, for the black community, for people of color, there has to be an equal and requited amount of change for white privilege. And that is something that white people don't want to think about. They don't want to admit that. White people don't want to acknowledge the head start we have in life just for being born this color. You know what? That is willful ignorance. Willful ignorance is what allows oppression to continue in this country.
That's it.
So I'm going to talk on ignorance for a second. I think one of the biggest things that allows ignorance to continue is our education system.
There it is, baby.
Yes, ma'am. Our education system.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I mean by that is our education is a white man's education.
It is.
It is a white man's history.
Yes, ma'am. Tell it.
Why does that matter? Again, like I said, I can recognize when something is wrong. And that is wrong. Why? Because when you tell that history, the history that excludes black history and black culture and the black experience, you allow white people to think that nothing is wrong. And when that happens, you allow white people to think, well, it was bad back then, but it's not bad now. Hell no. It's bad now. In fact, some might say it's worse because this is systemic oppression. This is institutional oppression. This is oppression that is not overt, but it is just as powerful, and we are able to hide it. And I have more to say. If you want to hear all of it, please come out Saturday. Thank you. We appreciate it. But no, the reason I'm here is because I stand by you. I support you. I love each and every one of you out here. We are brothers and sisters to the day we die. And this is not my time to have my voice heard, but I will use my voice for you. I promise.
Thank you.
So, as someone said, talk is cheap. Cut the check. It's time for us to go our separate ways. It's been 400 plus years. Time for y'all to send us back home. Period. With the T. Because y'all not good for our health. Y'all not good for our mental health and definitely not for our physical well-being. Y'all no good for us. Let us go our separate ways. I'm sorry. I know it don't sound Christian-like. I don't claim to be a Christian. I'm a follower of Yeshua. But it's time for us to go our separate ways. Obviously, we don't get along. Why is it so natural for y'all to hate us? Because I will put enmity between thy seed and the seed of the serpent. If the shoe don't fit, then don't wear it. I'm going to put the link out there. Now, family, when y'all come on, I'm not saying you can't say stuff, but say it without threats and say it whatever you got to say, sort of controlled, so I don't get my channel shut down. There's the link if you want to come on. Because personally, I just don't see how we got much longer. This thing is getting worse by the day. It's getting worse by the day. Sister Betty, how you doing?
Minister Jacoby, you know I miss you, dude.
I missed you, Sister Betty. Where you been?
Look, YouTube been messing with my notification. I had my son way in Africa. Ma, you wasn't on till today. He was on. Didn't even know. I'm like, what is going on? So I've been missing my notifications. So I'm like, okay then. But the day he in Africa still, Mom, you know you come on. I said, boy, hurry up and hang up the phone. I'll call you back. So I got off the phone with Arthur to make sure I'm on the live. So everything's going good, Mr. Jacob. I'm gonna email you and give you an update on everything. Okay, I'm glad to be back.
So, Sister Betty, a quick question.
Yeah.
When you see all of this stuff and these people
Please.
talking about, assassination squads and mafia and all this stuff, and
God.
I mean,
Jacob, I got to go all the way. Oh Lord, y'all have mercy. I had to go back to the one I missed where the dude got out the car and she balled up on the ground, letting this dude hand her a beat down. I know her mouth was rashed, but look, if you hit me, female and all, man, I'm from the country. I'm from the straight up and down wood. Being a man, you finna lose your tools to reproduce children first. Then when you fall to your knees from losing your ability to reproduce children, I'm gonna bust your head open. So I'm just saying, not to be too bad, but you can't do that to me. Now all this right here about killing us, you already said it in a nutshell. I'm gonna put enmity between your seed and the woman's seed. Don't you see whose seed these people are?
Yep.
Don't you see who the wheat and the tares are? You don't see who those things are? We the only people on the planet that are 100% human DNA anyway. So who is that in them people DNA? Y'all stop acting like you don't know. They lack what's in the back of our head that holds melanin and empathy and sympathy. They don't have it. You're trying to give a race of whatever the same empathy that we have. I heard what this woman was saying. We done heard that from the same people who said they helped Harriet Tubman to free us. Ain't that the same thing they was preaching? They on our side, they understand.
Yep.
But some of them the same people who go to church every Sunday and say they on our side. But as soon as we look, they just shot that 16-year-old boy in the head. And you have people backing him. You have people giving excuses in we the most sympathetic people on the planet. That's because we're the only people on the planet that are 100%. They're not. Their DNA got that little fallen angel DNA that the scientists can't explain. But we can explain it because we know exactly who their father is. You got to be of Satan, man, of Satan seed to do that. How do you do that? How do you kill us like that? And so you pissing and saying it's rain. And I believe you because it's wet in my head. But in reality, you pissing on me. Is that what you telling me?
Yeah.
All right, then, Minister Cole.
Thank you, Sister Betty. Judah J, how's it going?
Hey, shalom, family. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Sound good.
Hey, these people ain't normal. They ain't human. And what Sister Betty Bent was saying, they're not 100% human. And DNA even expresses that because part of them is most of them is Neanderthal. They back in their history, they started to do rituals where they mix their own blood with rabbit blood, with rabbit urine. And they did it for a long period of time, which changed their actual DNA. Now, besides that, these people ain't natural because they are from the mixed seed of the fallen angels. And so you have to understand that if these people are acting this way, how could you think it's right to kill and destroy, try to seek to destroy somebody? How can you, on your everyday life, you going about your day, they're going about their day, and all you can think about is doing the most heinous, wicked, evil, disgusting things to these people. And now you got their officials, and like in that video that you just showed us, speaking the truth, because when they're speaking to each other in secret without thinking that they're being recorded, that's when you get the real. So now the real is basically saying we would love for the times to be back in the days of old, so where we can go and hang these folks just because of who they are. And now they actually have the ability to make laws and statutes against the people. So it's like what I'm seeing right now is an enemy that knows they're at the end of the rope. They know in the spiritual realm that things are changing because the stuff that they used to get away with, they can't get away with now. But what I'm telling Israel right now is the only way we can protect ourselves is through repenting, returning to the Most High Yah in our everyday lives, taking up your cross. I don't believe he died on the cross with a tree, but taking up a daily, denying your flesh, operating in spiritual warfare. This is what I do, and I'm gonna end it right here. I bind demonic spirits, just like Pastor Darby said, and I bind demonic spirits. I cast them out to the abyss. I send Holy Ghost fire to every demonic spirit of witchcraft, sorcery, murder, death, destruction, every foul spirit, every lying spirit, and every evil spirit that these people are operating in. And then I thank him for answering my prayer. And in my mind, I make a mental picture of the spirits actually being on fire, actually being bound. I cast them down to the abyss, and guess what I see? Guess what I see when I see these people? Like I have my own channel, and I talk about target individual in situations and experiences. And this is what I've gone through. But when I bind these demonic spirits and cast them out, I see what the Most High Yah's power is doing in the physical, because this is a spiritual realm type of experience. I see them speeding off. I see them getting mad. I see them getting on their phones. I see them reacting in a way that's not natural, because that spirit, that power that comes through Christ is actually affecting them. Israel, the only way that we can make it in these last days is to operate in spiritual warfare. That is your supernatural hedge that the Most High has given us to fight these enemies. He has given it to his people. We have this power, but you must walk in righteousness and you must seek him daily. You must turn from your sins. And when we do that, he says that he shall heal our land. He shall heal our land. He shall bring us back to our land, because nothing's going to change unless we change it. The kingdom of Yah is in us. We are the children of the Most High Yah. There will be Gentiles that shall make it into the kingdom. Yes, they shall praise him on his holy mountain. But right now we are in our bondage and have been so since 70 AD. Jacob's trouble is only going to intensify because the baby is being birthed. And so that birthing and those birth pains are happening in full effect. So we need to have power to be able to sojourn in these last days and make it through. Without that power, you're just basically going to be an open book, where people are open door, where demonic spirits can come in, destroy you, destroy those you love. We can't have that no more. So it's all about a transformation and all about a conversion. So hey, Mr. Yacoba, thank you so much. It's a blessing to have you. These messages, man, I get so much from it. I get so much. It's a blessing. And just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Love to the family, and shalom.
Man, I liked everything you said, Brother Judah. Brother Karras, these people don't seem to have any compassion, any remorse, no sympathy. You know, they can't sympathize with nobody. I'm like, what is going on here?
Well, Brother Yacoba, I'm gonna tell you. Look, I'm about to stir some trouble on your channel, since you'd like to come on mine and stir up trouble. No, but you know, didn't we talk about this a couple of years ago, that in order for things to really move, there was going to have to be the comfort had to be stirred up, right? The folks are going to have to get up out their sleep, and it's the saddest thing is that, you know, the problem that we have as a people is that we really think that we're going to be able to build and stay and maintain. Don't get it twisted. Our people want to just be here and be under Babylon, like Babylon's still going to be nice to it. That's not the case. You want to know why? Because these folks are now losing money, and they're getting mad that they're losing money because the world is calling them out on their racism. And because the world is calling them out on their racism, people are jumping ship.
Yep.
He just had the interview with the Chinese official and the I believe the African Union official from South Africa, and they're talking about it. Look, they're going to crush the dollar, and they're saying it's because they are racist. This look, they're at war. We always tend to think that a war is, you have to have bombs, you have to have things exploding and things of that nature. No, the war comes when you don't have food on the table. The war hits you when you don't have gas to put in your car. The war hits you when your job is gone. And then you have to look at your kids and at your spouse and tell them, I don't know how we're going to make it, because that paycheck to paycheck, and this was it. So now people are really trying to figure out, okay, Father, help us. Yeah, do you understand? The Most High is grabbing the attention of his people because he's making it uncomfortable for them here in Babylon. And honestly, I'm enjoying every single minute of this uncomfortable feeling that they're getting. Wake up. Wake up, Judah. It's time to go. Oh,
Yep.
no, I still want to get shot.
Yep.
No, I still want to, be Swiss cheese.
They're not concerned about their kids.
You get what I'm telling you? Oh, well, we got somebody saying something. How many folks have we had saying something? They're still in Babylon. They're only talking because you want to know why? They want you to still have sympathy for the system that's dying. Oh yeah, we recognize that. I don't have to wake up with the issues that you wake up with. Please don't leave us. Please, please, please don't leave us, and then we'll still be able to shoot you. And then guess what? The world will still love us. That's all they care about. They don't care about you. They don't care about I. They just care about their position that's being lost on a daily basis. 85 countries and counting that's rejecting the dollar. And that's even more because even the EU was like, we got to start getting away from these folks. Because why? Because our countries are about to turn on us because we're sinking everything we have to Russia into this war against Russia via proxy. Oh, and Putin just showed up on the front line like, y'all know y'all lost. That, you know what that shows you? That shows you, man, there's only weeks. Only weeks. They're telling you you don't have that much time before your money is worthless. But here we are. We just want to sit here, say kumbaya. They don't care about us. They never did. If they truly cared about us, we would have had a reparations check a while ago. The only time we're going to get a reparations check is when we're up on out of here, and we're going to look at that reparations check, and we're just going to blow our nose in it.
So, Brother Karras, look like they prefer to delete us than to give us that money, huh?
Well, guess what? We'll be leaving anyway.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be like, all right, this check, where I'm going to, it's not even going to be able to pay for a 5-cent piece of gum. And that's because why? Because that's what we've been conditioned to say. Well, you want to know what? Well, what about this? What about this? We love this. We love this. See, he's taken that false sense of security that we've had as a people. He's taken that idol and he's removing it. He's removing that idol. And
until
guess
social
what?
media, they got away with all of this stuff.
What's that?
I say until social.
Yeah, that's why they're trying to shut everything down, TikTok and everything else, passing all the bills so they can monitor and hide this. But the problem is, it's too late.
Yep.
It's too late. And they know it's too late. And so for them, they're trying to hype us up. don't you care about the dollar, collapsing? And it's like, no, because we knew that this was going to come because it was your fault. Like we had said, y'all wanted to kill us. Y'all wanted to do all these atrocities to us, and you didn't think that there wasn't going to be a cost to it.
Exactly.
Now you got to pay the cost because the whole world hates you. And we told you the whole world was going to hate y'all. No, they weren't. No, we're going to do this. Okay. And they're mad about it. Well, we got to give them a final solution. Okay. But we know what this word says. No, it's going to be too little, too late at that time. We would have healed this place because our people, let's just face it, our people love this place.
Yep.
And that's why the Most High is getting ready to send in folks to handle this place because our people love this place. You see, when people are talking about this war in Ukraine, when people are talking about Taiwan, they're not understanding the full measure. The full measure, it doesn't just stop with Taiwan. It doesn't just stop with Ukraine. No, they're coming over. Okay, let's handle these folks. Because you have to understand, Europe, them other Gentiles over there, they're trying to really distance themselves, talking about, oh no, that's Jeb's side of the family. We don't roll with Jeb like that. No, we the good Gentiles. No. We don't even associate us with those racists on over there. Why? Because they fight over resources. They fight each other tooth and nail over resources. So you think they're going to get cut off? They're already getting cut off from Africa. Okay, time to rethink this game plan. Oh yeah, it's America's fault. Do you see how quick they threw America underneath the bus?
Well,
That
France
was what
sure
Macron
did.
The French just threw them underneath the bus, and they're rolling like this is Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Get off that bus. They're going into that ditch. No, they know it.
Well, they
So
just need to
trying
cut
have
that
nothing
check
to
so
do
we
with
could get
this.
out.
What's up?
They need to cut that check so we could leave.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see how much that check is going to be worth at the end of the day. That's all I'm saying.
Give me my gold then.
Yeah, that's exactly.
All right, thanks, brother Karis. I'll be y'all. How's it going?
Yeah, brother. It's just like how oil and water don't mix. We and these people can never mix. And it really frustrates me that a lot of black people still have their heads in the sand. Yesterday, when I was at work, me and a fellow coworker were just catching up, and a third guy came in, a black guy, and he said, "How you guys doing? You guys living the American dream?" So I said, "You have to be asleep. You have to be sleeping to believe in the American dream." And he was like, "No, that's not true." But it's so obvious with all the history. I mean, you really have to literally ignore the facts to believe that you can actually accomplish anything of any substance as a black man or woman in America. And later that day, I even asked, just for fun, I asked some of my students, because I work in education, I asked them, "You believe in the American dream?" All of them said no, because it's true. And I know that the black people who believe in such a fable are the ones that have a job and comfortable with their income and comfortable with life. And that's the detriment about comfort. It makes you lackadaisical, and it make you stunt. It stunt your growth and stunt spiritual health. These people, they realize that their time is up. And what they're doing is similar to like when you play a game, like in a competition, where when time is running out, you try to grab up everything that you can. That's why they're passing all these laws. That's why they're killing us like this. They realize, just like how we know, best believe, and I know you guys know this, But they been knowing who we were long before we know that we were Israel. And
Yeah.
when 2020, when 2019 came, the 400 years, it's like their economy shut down with, the virus. China, Russia, everything is cascading down on them, so they don't know what to do. And now Africa is standing up. I mean, 10 years ago, you would never hear African people talking like how they're talking now. Bold against America and the West. They realize that there's a power shift happening. And that's why if we don't get ourselves together, a lot of us is going to fall victim to our enemies. And
Oh yeah.
it's so obvious. It's so obvious. Look, Dr. Martin Luther King tried integrating. That never worked. That was the worst thing that could ever happen to us.
Yep.
Integrating with these people.
Yep.
They would never love us. Even though we love them, it's like a man loving a woman that don't like him. No matter how much the more you love them, the more they hate you. And I'll just end it right there, brother.
All right. Thank you, Abia. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to speak with you all. Salama family. I just wanted to come over here because I'm experiencing the terrorism from Gentiles. And I live in an area where I'm Yahweh has blessed me abundantly. And so I live amongst them, and I'm realizing that I can't get along with these people. Like, it's just either, I don't know what it is, but it seems like every time we mind our business, they're always curious about us. They're always wanting to know, what you're doing, listening to everything, or having attitudes. And I'm just tired of it, and I don't want to be amongst these people. Also, I agree with what many of the people in here were saying, how our own people don't want to wake up and realize that this is not the land of milk and honey. And I say that because my own father considers this place to be the land of milk and honey. And I'm just like, how do you see that? All our people, we shed blood every day. Just like that story you just mentioned earlier of that poor young boy that was shot in the head. We shed blood every day. It's like, how can you not see that these people are terrorists against us? So me and my family, we're looking forward to going to Africa. For me, I'm a single woman, and I have my two brothers that I take care of because one is autistic and the other one is young. And so I'm just like, well, how am I going to make it in Africa? And I another reason why I just wanted to speak is because I was able to find a country in Africa that I can go to, and that's Botswana. I looked up their immigration, what we need to immigrate there, and all you need is just to be a good citizen and to be a part of the community. If anyone wants to look it up, because I'm finding that the other countries in Africa, it's kind of a lot more difficult to go over there as far as like getting a visa and stuff. But that's all I wanted to say. And I thank you for your time and allowing me to be able to speak.
All right. Thank you, Yaya, for coming on.
Thank
So,
you.
quick question for you, Brother Karras. Based upon what you're seeing happening today, I always got to ask this because, I'm just curious what you see and, some of the others. I mean, what you think about how long before we all leave here? You there, Brother?
Yeah, I'm here. My bad. I'm literally on the phone with Brother Big Red. You know how
Okay.
we do. We know how we do. Listen, if it wasn't an urgency, but I always usually have my phone silent, on these shows. But I'm telling you, when you say how long do we have here before we leave? I'm going to tell you this. I believe that the majority of our folks that have the will and the means to leave, they're doing it right now. And if you see that and you understand what's happening, even the folks that don't, that really don't have an understanding of who they are, as Israel, they're already taken off. They're like, look, we gotta go. We're up and we're out. In terms of us and our people and leaving en masse, I really do have to say, I'm gonna say less than 6 months. And the reason I say that is because when we have the banking thing, going down, it's going to be a arduous process that a lot of our folks that can go, we will go. But the folks that are stuck here, they're going to be stuck here. But there's also going to be some bureaucratic things that have to take place. I still firmly believe that there's going to be, more intervention from the African Union in terms of when they'll be able to kind of, provide a plan. Because you have to understand what they have to see is they have to see a tremendous amount of weakening, right? Not just with the economy, not just with the dollar, but they also have to see it in really the cohesion of this nation. When people are like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Look, these nations that are going to come here, I still believe it. They're going to come here as like a peacekeeping force or operation, right? That's going to be set up by somehow, some way. But that's going to be in a multinational coalition. And then under that multinational coalition, hey, we have security forces or elements that will need to, be there in place to what? To allow people to move. That's why I believe that this thing is going, because you have to understand the more that they see the situation in Ukraine. Remember, they were talking about Ukraine. Oh, they're winning the battle in Ukraine. Remember, two weeks ago, these folks were literally saying they're winning in Ukraine. Ukraine was winning, and now they have to actually say, no, we're actually losing, and we're gonna have to regroup. And they've been waiting for a counter offensive for the last 5 weeks. That's never happening. Because why? The people there, they understand, man, that's that power, that's their strength, and it's just getting chopped up left and right. So then now is going to basically be, if they have to negotiate, and I believe they will negotiate here in about another, I would say 4 or 5 weeks, that's going to cause chaos and havoc in America. It's going to cause that chaos. It's going to cause that havoc. And then that's when you're starting to start seeing markets going crazy. Because why? Because then the other nations will start signaling, oh, look, they had to negotiate. So guess what? Now the money's going to start running dry. Because that's how this money supply works. It works off of the strength of what? Of America, the resolve of America, right? That strength and that resolve, if it's not there, then guess what? Neither is the money, because people aren't buying the dream anymore. Remember, they have to sell that American dream to the other nations. And the other nations are like, yo, I want my refund.
So when the dollar crashed, do you think that might be the time when, let's say, the African Union say, hey, y'all could come back? Because when that dollar is weakened, America becomes less of a threat internationally.
Yes, I believe so. I believe that that's what it hinges on. And for them, I think that's in about a matter of weeks.
Should be interesting. Thank you, Brother Karras. Sister Betty.
Minister Jacoba.
So when do
Listen,
you plan on getting out
yeah.
of here? Because we won't come with you.
Guess what Tim told Arthur? So that acre over there next to y'all, that's gonna be Minister Jacoba's. And I told Arthur to tell Tim, yes, it is, and I will be cooking for him and his wife. I will. Minister Jacoba, let me tell you. And I'm just going by the ruach that's within me. And I know the Most High has never, since I pledged my life to him years ago, came out of Christianity, he has never failed me yet. And I just follow the Spirit. Let me tell you, if I went ahead, packed my son up, and got him out of here to go prepare a place for us through the Most High, don't you know we got to leave soon? And as you was talking about it, you and Karis, I was sitting here almost in tears because I know that we do not have the time that we think that we have.
Yeah.
We do not have no years, Minister Cole. I don't see how people don't understand when they allow Silicon Bank to fall and all the little banks around it start falling. They're just not putting how bad things are in the mainstream media because everybody can't panic and run at the same time. They wouldn't be able to control it. The economy would clash sooner than it already is, and we're already on soon, but it'll go sooner. Listen, Karis, the Most High, Karis, Yacoba, the Most High moved me and said, Betty, it is time. I know you ain't really ready, ain't prepared, but he's preparing us now. What you're doing now and what Karis is doing, he is actually doing the preparing right now as we speak. Your bag should be packed. You should try to have your coins together because I'm telling you, by the end of 2023, we are in serious trouble.
Yeah.
So my thing, me and this little clan, Minister Jacoba, I'm telling the staff, I'm gonna be letting parents know in June that I'm not gonna be opening back up in August. And I've been doing this is my 28th year in this educational field. Jacoba, we won't be doing a new class in August here at How You Learning Academy.
So, Sister Betty, did y'all shut the restaurant down yet, or is it still operating?
When Arthur get back, Minister Jacoba, we're gonna run the restaurant on until around August when I shut this down. Definitely by the end of the year, but we're already gonna have a place and land and everything on the continent by then. That's what he's doing. We already registered the business. We're doing that right now. Why you think that boy over there for 2 weeks? He ain't over there to look at nothing, no animals, no safaris, going to Victoria Falls or to the Serengeti. We ain't got time for that. He ain't over there sightseeing, buying no African jewelry, no art. No, I really want to do some art and get some art, but we ain't got time to do that.
Yeah.
We ain't got time to go put that food in the bowl like you said Yahushua HaMashiach did, the red food. Remember that video you did?
Yeah.
We ain't got time to go try that. He tried some fish with whatever red sauce and got on back. We don't have time for that. I'm telling you, by the end of this year right here in Yacoba, I'm going to have a house built on the continent. I done told you that. You better come pitch a tent or something over there on your land. I got your acre covered now. I done told you, and I meant what I said.
I'm gonna have to put you in contact with my wife, Sister Betty.
I done told you to do that already.
All right.
We're gonna be straight because like I told you, you know your calling and you know your timing. But I know that the Most High don't have you on here with thousands of people just for you to be running your mouth, drying your throat out. If these people ain't heard you over the last 7 years, what you gonna do about it? Your job is pretty much done. It's
agree.
a wrap.
I agree.
It's a wrap. If they ain't got what you done put out, you and tell you after 7 or 8 years that you've been on doing this constantly, beating it, being attacked, being attacked. Man, you've been drugged. You're a fighter, but these people done drug you. They done drug you to the white meat. Your knees skint up. Your knees skint up. So what? You've done that. Now you got to leave it to him.
Yeah, I told everybody. I said, I think this is coming to an end. Kara said the same thing. It's like we getting out of here soon. That's what I said.
Yes.
This whole thing is about to change.
It's about to change. And you've done what the Most High called you to do. Wake them up and tell them.
Yep.
Now you got another job. When they get to the continent, Yacoba, you got a whole nother mission that's coming for you. You're gonna have to be in a position that the Most High got you in to continue what you're doing. But on the continent, Minister Jacoba, you're gonna be needed to be one of those holy priests. You're gonna be needed.
Whatever the Most High has for me, I'm cool with it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. He got it. You think
Thank
he just made me give you some get you an acre of land because he ain't already told me what he want me to do for you? You do what you want to do. But it's gonna be there when you get ready, because I know already.
That's because you my sister.
Yes, I know.
Yep.
I know already. I know you can't cook, you can't fish, you can't clean the fish. I know you can't do none of that. I'm sorry, you go. Oh Lord. Okay. All right.
I can cook a little bit. I can't
catch
clean no
fish
fish.
and clean them and gut them. You can't clean no meat. I know that. But I didn't mean to put that out there like that.
It's all good.
But I can catch the fish, gut the fish, fillet the fish, and cook the fish. I can
You gotta have
cook
to
a fish.
teach me, Sister Betty.
I sure can. My granny taught me. I can teach you how to cook, clean. Remember, I can clean a whole chicken.
Now my
I
brother
can
said
wring his neck.
My brother said
and
he can
clean
clean fish. I'm like, well, when did you learn to clean fish?
See, he might have did it on YouTube.
I don't know.
YouTube.
All right, thank you, Sister Betty.
All right, this is over.
Brother Judah J, what do you think about the timing of this whole thing and the us leaving and us dealing with these people? Because personally, I don't think we can live amongst them anymore. That's my opinion. What's your thought?
Sure. The time clock is basically there's nothing new under the sun, and the time clock is the days of Noah. And in the days of Noah, what was so different about every other time frame is that we had the fallen angels that made it with the women, that had the Nephilim, the giants, and what they were trying to do was taint the seed of the woman so that the Christ would not be able to come on the earth. And that's when that's when the Most High decided to destroy the world with the flood. And he only preserved 8 people, Noah and his 3 sons and their wives. So when I look at that, I think about, okay, there's been so much evil that's happened on the world ever since the inception of the world. But what would make the Most High try to destroy the world? If you try to taint my seed, if you try to bring in something into existence that is unlawful, that's when I'm going to get involved. So what I think the time clock is when they try to taint the seed, and when they try to do something that will destroy Israel. He says, if the moon is not, you know what I'm saying? If the moon doesn't exist, if the world is, what is the scripture in there that talks about the most,
then will I forget Israel? That one.
So they want to get rid of Israel. Yeah. So the way to get rid of Israel is to taint Israel's seed so they're not Israel no more. So what I think the time clock is when they start to put this whole, and I'm not going to go and say what it is, but you know what I'm talking about, that stuff that that they brought into the world back in 2020, when they try to put it into the food system, exactly. when they make a big push or announce it on the TV, because we hear right now, we go to websites and we hear how they're trying to taint the food with that stuff. And I think when they start to announce that that's what they're going to do and put it in the food system, I think that is when you'll start to see the plagues in droves start to increase on the earth. Because like you say, Israel, they're trying to get rid of us. Yep. But why? It's a time clock. Why did they try to get rid of Israel in the time of Egypt? Because the plagues. Because Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and the people were suffering through the plagues, and they were telling them, let these people go, let these people go, let these people go, because they saw all of the judgment that the Most High Yah was putting on his people. So what I think, and likewise, like fashion, there's nothing new under the sun. Days of Noah, they correspond to, they correlate, they correspond to one another. I think what's going to happen is when they try to take the food and take the seed of Israel, then the Most High is going to increase the plagues so much where they say the people in the know that know who we are, the people in the know that the time is wrapping up, they know we're the children of Israel. They're going to look around their circumference, look around and say, look, we got to let these people go, because if we don't, we're going to be destroyed. Now there's going to be this push of okay, you'll see stuff in the news talking about, okay, well, I think that there should be some incentives to let the African Americans go back to Africa if they would like to, and we'll do this and that and this and that, and then the plagues will increase, and then all of a sudden they'll be like, listen, we'll give you this money, just leave. It's gonna be like so bad here, so bad where they're trying to push us out because of all the plagues that's going on. But it starts based off of when they try, I believe, when they try to put that stuff in the food. That's basically how I see that.
All
Shalom.
right. Thank you, brother Judah J. Brother Sister Yaya. So we're gonna start final comments now. I'm gonna start with you, Sister Yaya. Final comments.
I just want to say thank you, Yakoba, because me and my mama used to watch you back in 2020. My mama's gone now, but you helped awaken my mom, and I was trying to let her see who she was. So I just want to thank you for that. I also, as far as the time frame, I want to say next year. In my opinion, I feel like it's going to be next year. But I thank you so much for all that you do for educating people. Thank you.
Thank you, Yaya. Abiyah, final comments. You there? Unmute yourself. Abiyah bin Yasharal. Might be. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, unmute yourself. There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that. I feel like when we actually leave is when the war comes to the US and things get real bad. By that time, the US power and influence drastically fall, and the African Union will definitely have to, in my opinion, play a role in our recovery and second exodus. I think it's just a matter of time. I don't think we have much time left. The most I would give it is 4 years, but that's even stretching it for me. With what's going on with the dollar collapsing, I mean, the dollar dominance is what's keeping America on top right now, and has been keeping America on top. And I feel like when that dollar finally gets the final nail in the coffin, that's what starts. That's the catalyst for our second exodus, and that's my opinion.
All right, thank you, Abiyah. Brother Karras, final comments. All right, he might be on the phone. Final comments, Sister Betty.
Final comment, Minister Yakoba, is that the time is already here. Those people have been poisoning us. They ain't just started trying to kill us. They've been doing it. They do it through pharmaceuticals, which is sorcery. They never had a cure. Even if they had a cure, they never intended to cure us. All they did was make us sick, especially Israel, to make us sick and eventually kill us off anyway. They've been killing us off for so long. It's not just now. So the sign is what is going on right now. You see the shift. You see the Most High moving right now with the plagues, the fires, the fish dying up on the sea. They've never seen so many whales die, earthquakes, floods. We see all of this. These are the signs. It is here now. We don't have to wait on it. If you still waiting on to see more, then you're gonna be stuck right here in it. Yeah, they need to go out and give us reparations so we can get on up out of here. Ghana didn't do enough when they did it back in 2019, talking about the Great Return. Great Return, but what are y'all providing for us? You saying come back, but it's so many hoops that we have to jump through when we do get back down there as Americans. We have to do so. You wouldn't imagine all the things that we Americans have to do when we go back to the continent. And it ain't easy. It ain't easy, but is it worth to try to beat them up under your oppressors? Yes, it's worth the try. It's worth the battle, but the time is now. I'm telling you, you don't have to the end of 2024 to make no type of move. You got now. Hopefully by 2024, you'd have made preparations to get on out because he's already showing you right now. How do you can't even justify them shooting that 16-year-old boy in the head right now? Wickedness. These are your signs, Israel. It is now. Our time here is now, Judah. Esau time is ended, but it's the Most High said he gonna gather us from the four corners and he's gonna send us back. He's doing the gathering now. Whether you come now or you come in the middle, but he's gathering you now. You could stand there stiff in mud and be in quicksand, sinking slowly but surely, thinking that it's not here yet. You got more time. No, you don't. You better get your coins and your gold together. You don't have all that time you thinking about. You really don't. I'm here to tell you the time is now. By the end of 2023, we need to be moving out. We should be moving out, making a way for ourselves, family. I love y'all, and it's just a stern bit of advice from somebody who stay in a deep prayer with the Most High. That's what he's shown me. We got to the end of 2023 to make some very serious moves and decisions, family. Take it to y'all on your knees. Fast and pray in your private place. Go ask him for guidance. Go ask him for the discernment to tell you what to do with you and your family. But look, it still won't hurt for you to try to make a way. Go get your passports. If you don't even use them right now, at least when you go get them, you can hop a plane and leave everything. At least family. Israel, go get your passport. Israel, get your passport, family. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Betty. And I'll be coming down there to get my acre.
Better get on there. It's gonna be ready for you. I'm gonna clean it off and everything.
All right. Appreciate it.
All
Love you,
right.
Sister Betty.
Love you.
All right. Bye. So, fam, here's the thing. I don't know how much time we have left. Things are intensifying, right? Hashtag ain't no 400-year prophecy. Things are intensifying, and you can see it as well as I do. And it's all prophetic. And this isn't the place or the channel to coddle anybody, right? This is a truth ministry, and whether or not it goes down smooth or hard, at least it's truth, right? And there's something wrong with these people, and I'm not saying all of them, right? There obviously a few of them, very few, but there's a few of them that got a good heart, right? But most of them don't want to do nothing about it. Most of them don't want to do anything about our oppression. As a matter of fact, they're trying to take away any rights that we've gained, right? And when you gotta load 60 bullets into a guy running away from you, that's just hate. Nothing else but hate. But because they got that badge, they know they can get away with it. But it's part of the curses, and it was prophesied. The seed of the woman versus the seed of the serpent. Period. You can't say anything else. Why? Because they like to what? Kill, steal, and to destroy. Their history is killing, stealing, and destroying. Colonization is killing, stealing, and destroying. Every other group on this planet, they have what? Killed, steal, and destroyed. There's something wrong here. I'm just being honest about it. I ain't trying to cause no friction. As a matter of fact, as Rodney King saying, I sort of wish we could get along, but that ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Not while we here. That's why we have to go. It's almost time to go. I mean, as Sister Betty said, get your passport, whatever, right? Because it's time to go. I mean, literally, we can't live with them no more. I'm serious. I'm not trying to be hard. I ain't, y'all gonna say I'm racist. No. I'm looking at what you're doing to us. We can't live with you anymore. Period. Y'all killing us. What do you want? You want us to sit down and do nothing while you continuously kill us, and any semblance of civil rights that we've had is being removed today? What are we supposed to do? Just sit down here while you all persecute us and murder us and steal from us, kill, steal, and destroy? That's what Satan came to do, right? To what? Kill, steal, and to destroy. And so are his people. I'm sorry. What else can you say about it? I mean, they probably the only people on the planet that literally kills, steals, and destroys everything they touch. I saw this video. It was sort of interesting. They were hunting in Africa. Streaming on Instagram, they kill of a beautiful lion. I don't know if some of y'all saw this one. And so they're taking their picture and they're streaming their kill of a lion with their guns. Big task that was, to kill a lion. So they killed the lion, and off in the distance comes his brother. So that lion comes up and saw what they did to his brother. Next thing you know, everybody went behind the cameras. That lion did something. I don't know what the end result was. That lion did something, and then he went back. Point being is, just as that lion did, them young lions about to do the same thing. Micah 5:8 about to happen. I'm gonna tell you this: that passivism, that Eurocentric Christianity, where you can't defend yourself or your loved ones, and you're supposed to be a doormat. That's over. That's over. I'm not calling for no hate. I ain't calling for no violence. I'm just saying Micah 5:8 is here. And these young folks ain't putting up with it. I'm telling you, because they're awakening, just as we all have awakened from sleep. And we're not going to be a doormat anymore. And the scripture says that the Most High teaches what? Our hands to what? Battle. Oh, that's the Old Testament. That ain't the New. Okay. You stick with that one. I know some people gonna say tell ministries is a hater and they're racist and blah blah blah. No. Be honest with you, I don't care about y'all like that. Where y'all on my mind 24/7. No. Look, you do you, we do us. We not in your business. We're not on your channels. You don't see us going over to the right-wing channels and commenting, right? I'm just saying we ain't thinking about y'all like that, like y'all think about us. We trying to survive, period. And if you got a problem with us trying to survive and come together and get away from y'all, that's your problem and not ours. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of the Messiah. If you like this video, please share it, give us a like. And also, please support the Dry Bones Project.